If you had 99 bottles of beer, would you put them on a wall? Of course not. Before you know it, somebody starts singing about them, and the next thing you know, you're sitting on a bus all by yourself. I hate field trips. And today we're here to talk about walls. We're talking big walls, border walls, walls for keeping people out, or in, or both, or maybe neither. Are you banging your head against a wall yet? There's been a lot of talk about building a wall on the border between the United States and Mexico. That's a nearly 2,000-mile dividing line that passes through cities, deserts, mountains, valleys, trees, animals, and probably a few people. Will it work? That depends on who you ask, which side of the wall they're on, and whether they'll be making money building it or running it. We decided to avoid those people and instead ask historians how other walls in history have worked out. When the discussion turns to walls, the wall we keep running into is the Great Wall of China, which is technically not one wall but a series of them built and rebuilt over 2,500 years. Construction of the first walls began around the 7th century BC along the northern border of China to keep out the Huns. Nice name, nasty dispositions. In 221 BC, the first emperor of China ordered that the segments be connected in one continuous wall across China, a dirt wall, to keep out dirt balls. It worked for a while until parts of the wall started washing away or collapsing or getting used by farms. By the 14th century, the Manchurians and the Mongols were pouring through the holes in the wall like hordes of middle linebackers trying to sack China's quarterback, with swords. Time to bring in the Ming. In the 14th century, leaders of the Ming dynasty ordered a new wall built out of bricks and stones. It worked well, for a while. It's one thing to build a 13,000-mile, 20-foot-high wall. It's another thing to maintain it. Besides the parts destroyed by more Mongol invaders, other sections of the wall were covered by sandstorms or just crumbled due to age. Today, it's not so much a wall to keep foreigners out as it is an attraction to keep foreigners coming in, to buy cheese logs in the shape of the Great Wall. And no, it can't be seen from the moon or from the space station. That's just a rumor, probably to sell more souvenirs. So, are there any other cross-country walls that are not so great but good enough? Well, there's Hadrian's Wall, which runs across Great Britain. It was built by the Romans in 122 AD to keep out the barbarians from the north. You know, the Scots. Some historians think Hadrian's Wall was built not so much to keep the barbarians out, but to keep the Romans in so they wouldn't trade with them. I guess it's hard to control those Romans once they've tasted scotch. The 72-mile Hadrian's Wall lasted until Emperor Hadrian died, and then it slowly faded into a tourist attraction. How about the Berlin Wall? Known as the anti-fascist protection rampart when it was built in 1961, it was supposed to keep the communists in East Berlin from mingling with the freedom-loving residents of West Berlin. By the time it symbolically fell in 1989, over 5,000 people snuck through the Berlin Wall, while nearly 140 died trying. Then there's the Israeli West Bank Barrier, which is a network of fences built to keep Israelis and the Palestinians from fighting. Fences to separate nations with missiles, tanks, and jets. We know how well that's working out. Which brings us back to the US and Mexican border wall. There are pieces of it already built out of walls and fences in New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Meanwhile, the debate rages on. Maybe the solution is to send Congress on a bus trip. After listening to a few rounds of 99 bottles of beer on the wall, I'm sure they'll solve the border problem, the debt crisis, campaign finance. From New York City, I'm Kegan, this is Rocket Boom, and I'm taking one down and passing it around.